guys tell me about limits? What can you tell me about limits? Like, what did you learn from limits last year? Don't remember. Yes, Armin.
They are approximately like an album to closer to get to a point.
Okay, getting closer and closer to a point. Okay, good. That's the idea. So, for example, let's say, I think last year we did like 0 to the 0 power, and we find out is we approaching from 0.9 to 0.9, 0.8 to 0.8, 0.7 to 0.7. Eventually, gonna go to 0.1 to 0.1 and 0.001 to 0.001, and that's how you're approaching the value. Now, graphically speaking, is like this: is x to the x, right? X to the x power, and so as I'm approaching, it's gonna get this. Because if you use iPhone calculator, then you type in 0 to the 0 power, it's actually undefined. If you use Desmos calculator, if you do 0 to the 0 power, um, let's try it, 0 to the 0, they actually tell you 1. But how did they get 1? Like, you don't write down how many zeros 0 times. It doesn't make sense, right? So the only way is to approach the number like numerically in approaching. So if I would approach this, like say, like from 0.9 and like 0.8 and 0.7, 0.5, and so you see the number getting smaller, 0.4, 0.3, and 0.1, 2, 0.1, and 0.01, 0.001. And this is the idea of limits. It just keep on going, get closer and closer and closer there, and see what is the output is there. Because technically, you cannot type in 0 to the 0 power. It doesn't make sense mathematically how you evaluate 0 to the 0. Um, Only can be done with the El Hapto rule, but ideally, just trying to see as close as you can. Think about it as a black hole. If you enter in 0 to the 0 power, it's going to be indeterminate or indefined. And the only way we can approach as slow as we can to get there. Okay, so that's the calculus, starting in the calculus, which is the calculus. So the precursor of the calculus is the limits. So limits is the precursor. And then you go to calculus. And the calculus gonna form 2 paths. One is the tangent line problem. And the one is the area under the curve. So this is something to do with derivative, and there's something to do with antiderivative. And that's pretty much the calc one. You start with limits, go to calculus, and find the tangent line problem, and solve the area in the curve. And then you say, okay, well, what does it entail in calculus 2? Okay, so in calc 2, then you are gonna talk about extensive of integration technique. Including, let's say, um, integration by parts. You're gonna hear that a lot. 2, improper integral. Third, trig substitution. And that's a lot of things that happen. And there are more things to that, but like the main topic you're gonna be talking about is the trig substitutions, improper integral, integration by parts. The third one is not an AP exam, but I will test you. But that one is the hardest one. Trig substitution will be the hardest one. So that's calculus 2. Now, calculus 2, after that, the extension of integration by parts, you're also going to talk about the Euler's method, which is it's a equation tangent line, multiple iterations. So, and we're going to get to that later. Why are you wearing sunglasses inside the room? Okay, white people. Okay, so Euler's method, and then after that, which is the biggest part of the Calc 2, that's where everybody struggle. That's the part that you guys have to pay like 100% attention. That's a part that's very, very tricky. And a lot of people I don't suggest to be in Calc BC. It's not because you are not good at math. It's a lot of people doesn't have the ability to think that perspective. So most of people will struggle in Calc 2 unless you're like, certain individual here are more easier to accept. It's called sequence theory. Sequence series. And that is the final part. It's pretty much just going to go through those. So we are going to talk about from the beginning, which is AB, and this is BC. Now there are other stuff like the arc length, right? And stuff like that you are going to have talk about BC. So AB, if you do well last year, if you got a 5 last year, more likely if you take a test right now, there's a good chance you get 3 or 4. You just don't have those. This is the second part. So Calc 2 is not hard. That's why we spent a lot of time playing ping pong last year. But I want to finish you guys in the correct speed in order to get there. This year, the skill of level is not compared to last year because last year I have a lot of very, very fast kids. This year is not as fast, but every year is decreased by 10%. So there was like an exponential decay of knowledge each year. No offense to you, just because of this. But I think this is maybe the last generation of COVID. So hopefully after that we'll start going back up, or going back down. I don't know. So let's talk about limits. So start with limits. We talked about last year limits. The first thing is to plug in number. And if you get a value, you're basically done. And the second scenario, which is the most popular scenario, because normally you never like you plug in a value, you're gonna get that. What's the second scenario? Do you guys remember? Almost. That's the third situation. She says number over 0, but what else? What's the? Yes, Ahmed. No. No. Yeah, something to do with that. Yeah, but what kind of situation? Once you plug in a number, you get a different situation, as known as indeterminate. Yes. 0 over 0. Which is, we say if it's 0 over 0, then you have to do math. Right? Now we're going to talk about, most of you guys, the reason why you forgot is because most of the time you're going to do L-Hopper rule. But we're going to talk about if some situation L-Hopper rule doesn't work. Yes, there are situations that L-Hopper rule doesn't work. So what kind of math we can be involved? What's the first math that you can be involved? Well, what kind of algebra? Factor and cancel, right? What is the second situation? No. Yes, Claire. Did you raise your hand? You're just going like this. Scratch my head. Psych. What is the second situation when you kind of do math? We talked about last year. Which El Hapto rule actually cannot do this one. Start with R. You do have to rationalize. Before you rationalize, what do you see? Good, radical. So something called conjugate rationalizing.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out El Hapto rule does not work with this one. El Hapto have problem with this one, with the radicals. It may have problem on the third one, depends on what the situation is. So third one is called combined fractions. And the fourth one, which is your least favorite one, the least. And everybody was struggling on that worksheet, that particular worksheet. If I don't remember, but it's called trig limits. The trig limit one is kind of like that's the one that everybody struggles. Like, how do I do this? Even though it's really easy, but it's trig limits. So, what is the one trig limits you know? No one knows? Huh? What? What happened when limit x approaches 0 of sine x over x? That's equal to 1. B. Limit x approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine of x over x is equal to what? 0. And there are two specific kind of trig limits. Now, somebody mentioned earlier the number over 0. Whenever you have a number over 0, there's three possible results. What are those three possible results? Undefined is one of them. How about another one? No. The result is going to have positive infinity and negative infinity. And this going to lead to one-side limits. Now, there are popular one. So you have number over 0. You're going to do one-side limits, which is limit x approach to 2 from a number. There's also another one that you had to worry about, the absolute value one. You're still going to do one-side limit as well. And that's kind of give you over scope of limits. But on this particular year, your limit test will be harder because it's going to including both. Also including infinite limits, which is, let's say, limits as x approach infinity of 2x squared plus x minus 1 over 6x squared plus x minus 1. Do you guys remember that? You divide it by highest degree of the denominator and you approach infinity. And El Hapto rule doesn't help you here either.
No, it's horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal asymptotes. Yeah. So infinite limits, you know, or limits, or limit x approaching infinity of e to the x plus 3 over 3e to the x minus 1, something like that. Those are infinite limits. So this is the overall scope of what you're going to be on the first test. So this is the pretty much the blueprint of what's gonna be on the first test. Everything else, huh? Third test. But the first calculus test. That's what I'm trying to mean. All the things are the prerequisite, right? Like algebras, trig, it's all prerequisite, but it's not that important. So then you say, okay, well, what's the first question look like? The first question look like this. Well, this one should be everybody in this room. If you don't know how to do this, like just 2x minus 1. What do? With limit, you just plug in, right? And just 4 minus 1. And hopefully Nelly knows how to do this. Nelly doesn't even do the. What's the first question about limits? Not even derivative. It's like limits. It was limit of x squared minus something minus 2x. What happened when x is equal to 1? And she put down 0 or something. Yeah. And she did that with math competition on first question. Okay, so but that's no fun. So usually it's not like this case, but unless you are like Nelly or miss those questions. So usually first question could be like this. Lemma x approach 2 minus x over x squared minus 4. Now, of course, you can do L-Hopital rule. Now we just say, let's pretend you don't know how to do L-Hopital rule right now because we don't have the skill. We forgot the skill of the L-Hopital rule. But in this case, L-Hopital rule can be easily taken care of. Did you get it? Let me show what you get. Negative 1 over 4. Same like Claire's. Because you like checking with her all the time. Did you get negative 1 over 4? Is that exactly what you say? I don't even hear you. I can see it. Huh? Yeah, but she's not in your sixth period last year. And Nelly is always run away from you. You always go with McKenna's table.
We would I would different
Okay, so
Yes, I would be a fan.
so you can factor this, and then in order for those two to cancel, that should give me negative 1. So that usually is because you can factor out a negative sign on the top, and then that way you can cancel out with an x minus 2, and then you plug in this is going to be negative 1 over 4. How about limits x approach to 4 of x cubed minus 64 over x minus 4? X cubed. X cubed. Not x squared, it's x cubed. What'd you get? Luke? What? 48. don't know how to get 48?
But I'm not done yet. So.
Right.
What?
See, I was thinking use Elmo Google.
No, right now we're just not using Alhambra.
Yeah. Alright.
I'm gonna say like we don't know how to use Alhambra right now just because we are gonna talk about a question that Alhambra doesn't work.
No. Oh, okay.
I think I remember.
Yeah. So one multiply.
Okay, so this one can only factor by the cube, and it's called SOAP. So limit x approach 4, x minus 4 times x squared plus 4x plus 16 all over x minus 4. So SOAP cancel out. That's equal to 16 plus 16 plus 16 is equal to 48. So yes, if you use you can be done with this. And you're like, oh, okay. That's fairly quick. So you should know how to factor on all the things that you know how to factor. You have to know how to factor. Okay, so next question. Next question is something to do with radicals. So it would be limits as limits x approaching to 0 of 0 and x plus 1 minus 1 and then yeah, so try to do I'll have to roll here. What is a better way?
With radical keys stay the same. I thought so. The one is this one. Plus one for mine. Yes, it's still plus one. But then how would that? How would that get rid of that? You gotta square root. No, split. We do this. Good job. Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah. But
You guys got an answer? Okay, so the conjugate of this is the opposite sign. Limits x approach 0. This one x times x plus 1 plus 1. And the bottom's difference is square, so it's x plus 1 square minus 1 square. So that's the difference of the square. So it's limits x approach 0 of x times square root x plus 1 over x plus 1 minus 1. Well, those two kind of cancel each other out. And if that cancel each other out, and the x will eventually cancel out each other. And is that okay?
The positive one and minus one and the x in the bottom.
So this cancel out this. And this cancel out this. So if I plug in 0, it's going to give me 2.
Awesome reaction time. Yeah. It's like positive, man. Well, you can. Oh.
Bye.
You know, on when you're talking to Sam, there's like marble, the bleach. Yeah, I don't think you want that, bro. That's why would you do that? Bye, Mr. I'll see you later. Have a nice weekend.
You too.
You too. See, I didn't understand why you put Mario on it. Why you guys? So, are we going to the gym? That's I. I don't freaking know. How about that?
Why the? I was.
I did not.
No, no, this is not.
Absolutely nothing.
This is actually.
What happened? Where'd everybody go? We are silent.
Another school? Or somewhere else, I don't know. I was. I said, where did my Mr. Penn? And he's got pretty line, and I said.
He looked like a fish, bro. I don't know. What's you? Mr. Ken? Yes. I barely got buddy. He just looked like he stunk. But you did for the other one. Every time I saw him, bro. I looked at your shit. I would be like, really? It looked like this.
I have one.
Except it was like.
Yeah, but I didn't really check it. I just kind of did it once and assumed it was right.
You just tell when I gave this.
What? Where's the first one? You skipped the first one?
Bro, do not ask me for that.
I'm not. I didn't say
Yes.
where.
I got that.
What do you mean where? Bro, you're correct. Yes, I can.
Okay. I didn't check that last night, so I feel like maybe.
I checked it at 7 o'clock.
1:30.
I didn't look at it. What?
But, oh my god, bro.
I mean, most of the time when we do it, it doesn't like cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I got you.
Always the same.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I get that. Got 72.
Okay, they're all right. This,
I was just wrong.
you know, I thought why
In that one.
You can't for the 83.
You know,
Sacrifice. I'm gonna do 23.
I got that. I didn't.
That's the whole thing.
It's the top. And yeah, I didn't get any rap.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, I'm so slow.
Yes.
I said that 2 times 1 was 3. How did I do that?
That's different.
No.
Where's Arthur? Arthur's not here? Arthur is not here today? Or is he left my class?
He was in other classes. Maybe.
It's different.
Oh, there
It's
you
just
go.
Harper?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I figured out what I did wrong.
Did you get for two?
2, I got negative 17 over 249.
why?
But I,
How about you? You?
Did you get for two? It's still worth third.
That's what they're.
I got fourth.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Yeah.
simpler than -7.
Nicholas Lester. Okay. Tyler. Tyler. Is Tyler here? Tyler's not here.
Oh, it's -50.
Okay, Tyler Virginia's not here. Brendan Fuhrer.
I'm right here.
Okay, Roger.
Here.
Menu.
Here.
Shreya Justin. Tree. Gianna. Gianna. Okay, Aiden. Okay, Isla. Caleb. Is Caleb here? Okay. Robert.
Here.
Okay. Anthony.
Here.
Okay. Chase Chai. Julian. Julian, Josiah, Amber, Cole. Cole's here?
Here.
Okay, got you. All right. Now, the homework questions, let me see if I can post it here. It's hot in here. I'm gonna post the homework here. So.
Where is my nose? Today's a good day.
Save.
You should know. This reminds me of it's just doing.
Figured it out.
All right, so let me see if I can make it this bigger. I can make it bigger. Okay. Anyway, I can make it bigger, so I just write it. All right. So the question of here, I'm gonna come look at your homework in a second, but most of you guys make sure you maintain your homework. Now the as time goes on, you'll realize homework question is going to be the one that it's going to determine your grade. It's not your test score, because if you do your homework, then that homework is going to be one that determine your grade. Now, when you come in a room, the first thing is to make sure other people have a similar answer as you. Now, all those questions are fairly easy. They're not too hard, but they're also easy to make mistakes. So if you easy to make mistake, you're gonna realize in my Calc AB students that they just have a test recently. There was a test score of 15, 20, 30, and just because they're not. First of all my tests is gonna fill in the blank. It's not multiple choice, so you're not gonna see multiple choice anymore. So if you get used to like the class that give you multiple choice answer, you just had to pick the right one. That's not gonna happen in my class. But in a way, that's good. That's good thing it happened is if I start transition you to a fill in the blank type of thing, and that's what a lot of the math mistakes occur is people don't show the work, they choose the random answer they want to pick on the multiple choice. And people with really good guessing skill, they will usually have a good high score. Okay. So this is all the question that you're gonna go through. This is much harder than SAT will give it to you. It's much harder than anything. So if you go through the meticulous process, that not making simple mistake, you're gonna realize that it's gonna started gradually translate to SAT process. Okay. By the way, so you guys probably don't know. My son's sitting all the way in the back. He's in the corner. His name's Devin. So when he was fourth grade or his fifth grade, I'm gonna make fun of him a lot. So you probably think like, how come he didn't do homework today? I actually give him a day break for not doing homework because he finished the whole SAT for me. So, so a lot of times I'm gonna ask, like, you will not complain like why he doesn't have homework for today is because I actually give a lot more homework than actually you guys. During the whole summer, he's doing all the work. Yeah. So yeah, so unfortunately, but he's SAT ready. He's SAT ready. He can take a SAT right now. He already took a SAT. He's already got a decent score, and he's gonna take again this weekend, next weekend, and gonna try to get better score. The best way is to get ready right now, not waiting for your junior or senior year, because by the time you're gonna feel so much pressure, you got all other activity to do. So I knew this, so I kind of planned out early. I said, you know what? Have you also? I tutor outside of school, and a group of students they are ready by eighth grade. They are scoring around 600 to 700 right now, and by end of the ninth grade, they should score between 750 to 800, and that's my goal. My goal is push you guys there. Believe it or not, this is probably the best prep course there is. We'll go through that slowly, surely. Okay, so now other situation that we're gonna say is if you do a homework, check your answer, whether it's correct or not. Check while you come in the classroom. The first thing I see around a lot of people already doing the right process. They go check what's your answer, what's your answer. That's fine. That's probably the best way to learn. And if it's wrong, figure out what you did wrong and make modification. Tell yourself not to make same mistake again. So if you make some mistake again, then you know, if you want to do your homework, if you want to make sure you do it once, do it right. Your SAT is the same way. You want to do it once, do it right. You don't want to do it multiple times and you get a wrong answer. And you're gonna be on tilt. You guys know what tilt mean, right? Like when you something you got a wrong answer and your mind start losing it. The problem is you work too fast. If you work too fast, then you got one question wrong and everything else is kind of fall apart. And that happened with sports. Those of you guys play sports, you know. What sports do you play?
Baseball and golf.
Baseball and golf. Once you miss a shot in golf, you head the ball into the lake. And after that, it's pretty much it's not gonna do well because your mind is already start losing it. It's really hard to take it back. So you want to focus, make sure your ball is staying on the green, right?
Yeah.
So that focus requires a lot of training. And I cannot tell you otherwise. The SAT is the same way. And I will tell you which he did a test last time. He did very well. The time before that, he messed up the first question on the module 2. It was 4x plus 6 equal to 18. And what is the question of 4x? The question is asking what is 4x. He got it wrong. Now, I was more upset about that than he get a hard question wrong because that's easy question. That's something you can control. If you can control that so well, if you just play sports, you play tennis, reduce enforced error. If somebody not forcing you and not making those errors, you're already gonna get better on your SAT. Okay, and I coach this outside of school just for money. People pay me for it, and I will tell you the same thing as I told other people that pay me for it. The same way, you just need to reduce your simple errors. If you can reduce that on every single question, then you're already gonna score 100 points higher. Okay, so listen to me, it will work. Okay, so hopefully you guys can increase your score by. And if you guys are junior and sophomore year, I want you to take it once. Don't wait until senior year. Just take it once and to see where you are, where you is. All right. So anybody got an answer for the first one? Yeah, go ahead. Luke.
4y to the 2/3 power over x to the 1/3.
4y to the 2/3 power, x to the what?
Over x to the 1/3 power.
Over x to the 1/3. Does that make sense or no? Everybody got sense? Anybody got a different answer? Yes?
I don't know if there's right. Y 2 over 30 over 0.25 s to the power of 1.
Over, okay, so over 0.25 is the same thing. Why her answer is also correct too. So she says y to the 2/3 over x to the 1/3, 0.25, right? Why is it the same answer with the other one?
Students, please excuse the interruption at this time. We are ready for all of our freshmen, all of our 9th grade students. So teachers, please bring your 9th graders to the auditorium at this time. If you do not have a pure class of 9th graders, please work with your hallway mates to combine forces and make sure somebody escorts the 9th grade student to the auditorium while someone else has the other grade levels. We do appreciate your cooperation with this, and we will let you know when we are ready for the 10th graders after the 9th graders. Thank you.
Now, for me, that's a stupid meeting. You don't need to go. If you want to go, you can go, but it's a waste of time. It's like it's gonna tell you the stuff. Just pretend you're absent today. You stay here. You learn more. That's me. You guys more freedom. I'm not gonna stop you. If you want to go, you can go. If you want to go, just leave. It's okay. You don't need to feel bad. Just go. I'm not like force you to stay, force you to go. But if you need to go, just go. If you want to stay, you can choose to stay. I'll just give you an option for you to go and stay. But I think it's just a lot of times it's simply just waste of time. But that's me. But you guys can go. If you want to go, Gianna, you want to go, Devin, if you want to go, Chase, if you want to go, it's fine. You don't want to go, that's fine. You can more welcome to stay, more welcome to go. Don't feel bad. You guys have option. Gianna, if you want to go, just go. If you like debating, don't feel bad.
I'll go if you go.
Okay.